Hello everybody, welcome to one more chapter on YAML. In this particular chapter, we are going to learn about couple of YAML basics. We will understand about writing and formatting YAML files. We'll understand scalars and data types. We'll understand list and array data types in YAML. And we will see maps and key value pairs. And at the end, we'll also understand about comments and white spaces in YAML. First, let us understand about writing YAML files. Now, writing and formatting YAML files. YAML files uses a white space based indentation structure for defining data. Similarly, like Python, if you guys are aware of Python language, right? We use indentation. Similarly, on YAML also, we use indentation for structuring or for defining data. Now, in YAML, structure is very crucial. We can use spaces but not tabs for indentation. YAML files are often ends with an extension .yaml, or you can also use .yaml extension. Now, comments begin with a asterisk symbol and are ignored by the parser. That means if you write any code and the starting letter is hash, that code will not be executed. That is only like a comment for us to refer in the future. Now, let us see an example. If we see a very simple example, this YAML file, there is employee, and in the employee, there are details of the employee like name of the employee, age of the employee, and the department. If you see the employee and if you see the next line name, there's a space, right? So all this three belongs to the employee block. Okay, so that is basically called as a map. We will see that in some time. And if you see the key value pairs, they are separated with a column. Okay, now let us understand little bit about scalars and data types. Now, what is a scalar? A scalar represents a individual atomic values, like it could be a number, it could be a boolean value, or it could be a string. Now, one of the beauty of this YAML language is they don't require any quotes around them unless they contain special characters. Like in any other languages, if you want to define a string, you need to give quotes, brackets, etc. But here, you don't need to give any quotes. To simply see an example, if you see here name, you see the name of the employee, and you see what kind of a data type is that? It is a string. Do you see any inverted commas for the name or to represent it's a string? No, directly we can give the name and YAML takes it as a string. And the integer, you can directly give the number, it takes it as a integer. And boolean values, true or false. As soon as you give true or false, it understands the data type is boolean. So that is how we can define scalars in YAML. There is no need to give any special attention or no need to mention any data types. It automatically takes the data types. Now there is another data types called as lists and arrays. Now let us see what is a list. Lists are ordered collection of items. List items are indicated by a dash followed by a space. Items in a list can be of any data type, including other lists. Now let me give you an example here. You see there are fruits. Okay, for example, if I want to give the list of fruits like apple, banana, orange, or any other fruit, right? You see how I can represent that in this block fruits. If I want to give a list, you have to give a hyphen and then a space. and then the name of the item. Let's take another example. I want to list the skill sets of an employee. Then the block will be skill colon next line space hyphen space AWS. Same thing again, hyphen space in the next line, Azure. It goes on, right? So we can give a list like that. Okay. Now the next data type is maps. A map can be represented with a key value pair, and the key value pair would be a key and value would be separated with a column. Okay. A map is represented with a key value pairs. In other languages, they're also called as dictionaries or hashes in other languages. Maps use a column to separate keys from their corresponding values. Now, if you see an example, let's say I have an employee. I have a lot of details about an employee, name of the employee, age of the employee, department of the employee. So this is nothing but a maps or key value pairs, or in other languages what we refer as dictionary, we can refer that as map on YAML. All maps will be there in key value pairs. Now if you look into the previous one, this is a list. If you want to give a list of items, this is how you have to give. If you want to give a map, that means key value pairs of each item, then you have to give like this. And then how to use comments and white spaces. Now comments start with hash symbol in YAML and are used to provide explanatory notes. If I want to explain why I'm giving the name of the employee as John, okay, we can just give a hash and give it there. Let's say because after 5 years we will not remember that, right? So that is the reason we can give some explanatory notes, and if you have to give an explanatory notes, you have to use hash symbol. White space is crucial in YAML to define the structure. Proper use of white spaces enhances the readability of the code, and the code will execute correctly. Now let's look at an example here. You see example with comments and spaces. Okay, here this employee details, this hash means the parser will not execute this code. If you see name John Doe, age 30, you see there are spaces here under employee, and the department information, this is again a hash. Department is equal to development. Okay, I mean department column development. That is how you can make use of spaces and hash for comments. All right, that is what we have learned in this chapter: writing and formatting YAML files, scalars and data types, lists and arrays, map and key value pairs, comments and white spaces. This is what we have YAML basics.